Some of you watching this right now love your children deeply. You would do anything for them, right? You show up, you provide, you protect, you guide, you sacrifice. But if you're being honest, there are moments in which you are tired of parenting. Not tired of your children, not tired of loving them, but tired of the responsibilities of being needed, answering questions, making decisions, regulating everybody else, while nobody seems to notice that you are barely regulated yourself. And then the guilt comes in. What kind of parent says, I'm tired of parenting? Dear parent, let's talk about it. Let me say this clearly. Being tired of parenting does not mean you don't love your children. It means you are tired of carrying a role that never fully turns off. Because parenting is not just something you do, it is something you are constantly responsible for. Even when your child is asleep, you're still thinking. Even when they are at school, you're still planning. Even when you get a break, part of your mind is still managing the next thing. And that is why parenting fatigue is different. You see, it's not just physical tiredness, it's emotional. Because you are constantly absorbing feelings, the frustration, the disappointment, the excitement, the fear of your kids, while trying to manage your own feelings too. Parenting is mental because parenting requires constant decision making. What do they need? What happens next? Am I handling this right? Parenting's relational because parenting asks you to stay connected even when you are drained, even when you're overstimulated, or even when you are just tired of touch. It's spiritual. Parenting hits your identity, your capacity to keep showing up even when you feel empty. Because it's the exhaustion of everyone that keeps you focused on behalf of making sure that they are developing right and everyone is happy and everyone's getting their needs met at the expense of yours. There are parents watching this right now who know exactly what I'm talking about. You finally get a quiet moment. The house settles, the kids are asleep, and instead of feeling peaceful, you feel numb. And let me explain what I mean by numb. So numb is when you finally get quiet, but you can't fully feel relief. You're not crying, you're not angry, you're not even fully relaxed. You're just there, sitting in silence, scrolling without a care, staring at the TV without really watching it, lying in bed without really feeling yourself inside. That numbness is trying to say, I don't have anything left to give right now. And that scares some parents because they think numbness means they don't care. But sometimes numbness is not the absence of love. It's the emotional shutdown after caring too much for too long. Or maybe it's feeling guilty that you finally are saying, finally, nobody needs me. Finally, nobody's calling my name. Shit, I can sit down. Finally, I don't have to answer one more question. Finally, I can just be a person. But then guilt shows up. Why am I relieved to get a break from the people I love the most? But let me help you understand something. Relief isn't rejection. It's just your body saying, shit, I've been carrying too much for too long. So let's break it down. Because being tired of parenting is not the same as rejecting parenthood. It just means your system is saturated. And saturation happens when the demands coming at you are greater than the restoration coming back into you. That's important. You see, parents are constantly giving attention, correction, patience, money, time, energy, protection. And yeah, parenting gives back. Meaning, joy, love, purpose, connection. But it does not always give back in the same moment you are being drained, though. See, that's why you can love your children and still feel emptied by the role. That's why you can be grateful to be a parent and still feel overwhelmed by the daily reality of parenting. That's why you can cherish your family and still crave silence. Those things aren't contradictions, folks. They're complex. And parenting is full of complexity. And so here's the truth some parents just need to hear. You are not tired because you are ungrateful. You're tired because you're a human being. Let that sit. You are not tired because you don't love your child anymore. You're tired because love does not erase limits. You see, you can love deeply and still have limits. Shit, you can be committed and still need rest Man, you can be grateful and still feel overwhelmed. You can even be blessed and still be burnt out. And if nobody has told you that before, I'm telling you that now. Shit, gratitude does not cancel exhaustion. You see, trying to use gratitude to silence your fatigue is dangerous. I should be thankful other people have it worse. At least my child is healthy. Yeah, shit, gratitude matters. But gratitude was never meant to be a weapon you use against your own humanity, though. You see, you can be thankful for your children and still be tired. You can know you are blessed and still need help. You can love the life you have currently and still admit that some days carrying it is heavy. Because gratitude can live in the same house as exhaustion. You know that, right? One doesn't cancel the other one out. But when you don't name parenting fatigue, it shows up in a few ways. First, it turns small demands into big reactions. Your child asks for one small thing, and internally you feel yourself snap. Not because the request is huge, but because it just landed on top of 1,000 other requests. Second, it makes affection feel like obligation. Another hug, question, another bedtime story. Things you normally value can still start to feel like a demand again. And then you feel guilty because you know those moments matter. Third, it makes you fantasize about escaping. Not because you want to abandon your family, but because your mind is searching for relief. A quiet room, a solo car ride, a walk outside by yourself. See, the fantasy is not a sign that something's wrong with your love. Sometimes it's just a sign that your system needs recovery. And lastly, it makes you question yourself. You start asking, am I selfish? Am I ungrateful? What's wrong with me? And that question, that what's wrong with me, that keeps you from taking things further, which is, what do I need? Because when you call it, I'm tired of my kids, shame takes over. And shame's dangerous because it turns your need into an accusation. I need rest. Shame will flip that into you're selfish. I need support. Shame flips it into you're ungrateful. I'm overstimulated. Shame will make you understand that you're a bad person. And once that shame enters the room, you stop listening to what your exhaustion is trying to tell you, actually. You see, that's why we have to name this accurately. And that is, you're not tired of loving your children. You're just tired of parenting without enough restoration. That's the healthy reframe I want you to follow. So the next time you feel that thought rising up, I'm tired of this. Don't panic. Shit, don't even shame yourself. Don't turn it into an identity. Just pause and ask, what part of parenting feels the heaviest right now? Is it the noise, the constant decision making, the interruptions, the discipline, the lack of adult connection, the feeling that you are always needed but rarely reciprocated? Get specific, because that vague exhaustion shit always creates vague shame. But specific exhaustion can create specific care. So if it's noisy, I need quiet. If you're decision fatigued, I need fewer choices. If it's emotional labor, I need support. If the issue is isolation, hey, I need connection. Shit, even if it's resentment, I may need honesty. Not judgment, though. Honesty. And so let me give you permission today. You see, you are allowed to need a break from parenting demands without needing a break from loving your child. You are allowed to want silence. Shit, that's not being cold. You are allowed to feel touched out without being rejecting. You are allowed to feel mentally done, folks, without feeling like a failure. Shit. It's important to say, this is a lot. This is heavy. I need rest. I need help. Or I need a moment where I am not responsible for everyone. That shit don't make you weak. It makes you aware. And it's that awareness that provides and promotes healthy parenting styles. So if you've been afraid to say it, I'm going to say it with you today. Sometimes parenting is exhausting. Sometimes you are tired of being needed. Sometimes you miss the version of yourself who had more space. Sometimes you love your children with your whole heart, and still need to step away so you can come back whole. It's not abandonment. Shit, that's restoration. Because your child does not need you empty. They do need us human. And humans need rest, folks. And so before you go, if this message gave language to something you've been afraid to say, I want you to be honest. Drop it in the comments. What part of parenting feels the heaviest for you right now? Like the video so another parent sitting in silence of parental fatigue can find it. Subscribe to Dear Parent because we're always going to keep having these constant conversations. And please don't miss the next message. Turn on those notifications because the next message may be one that gets you through the day. Shit, even a week. Who knows, right? Dear parent, you're not a bad parent. Hell, you a human one. Take care of yourself and be compassionate with yourself. Shit, you're giving it to everyone else. Leave some for yourself. I'll see you in the next message.